morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you happen to hear us. Thanks for joining us. We're episode number, is it 9, guys?
11.
11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Episode 11. And we're still punching away. We're going strong. We're really enjoying this week after week. Welcome to the HIT show. HIT standing for Human Investment Technology, where the most important investment is you. So today we're going to be focusing on a topic that's obviously very, very important to us. Every week we actually, talk about something that's really important. And before we do, I want to introduce our co-hosts, Andrea Gulick and Rash Hussein, joining us as well, where we're going to be talking about this in a very casual format because when you really enjoy these discussions, it's almost like having a coffee chat. We're inviting all our friends to join us at the coffee shop, and we just basically talk about things. And we try not to get too technical, although sometimes we do, and that's okay too. But we really want to open up this platform for people to listen and interact and enjoy this. Perhaps they can take away something that they could think about, use, and apply in their daily life. Like we've been doing, really. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. As always, if you can share, inform your friends, each one, inform somebody else to come join this humble little gathering of lovely souls and sweethearts, where we talk about these things more and more. So just to kick off, Andrea, over to you. How are you doing? How's everything?
Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you. I was just giving a little wave there because I forget that people can't see the comments. So I'm waving to Lana because Lana said hello. So hello to Lana and Guy, or anybody else that's tuning in. So yeah, what a topic. I love this topic. Who's in the driver's seat? So yeah, no, I'm well. And I hope everybody that tunes in is kicking some sort of personal goal, whether that's just getting through their days not too stressed, or whether that's like a huge ambition, whatever that is for you, that you've got the right energy in the driver's seat to get you to where you're going. So yeah.
Awesome. Rash, how you doing, man? How's your week been so far?
So far, so good. Much better. So looking forward to today's show for sure. I think this is a topic I tend to talk to people about, who's in your driver's seat. So it's quite fitting. We're going to discuss that. No, but in general, feeling good, really good.
Awesome, good stuff. So as you've noticed, we've managed. I think this show is taking off very well today. Like the controls are in the right place. I feel like a proper anchor man.
Cool.
So we're going to move forward and to kick off today's episode. Hi, everyone, just joining us as well. Lana, Di, and everyone who's joining us from wherever you are. Thank you for joining us and seeing you again. Hope you're doing well. And today's question really is, who's in the driver's seat of your life? As in, where are you? Are you actually making the decisions and basically living the life that you choose? Or is the choice being made for you? You find yourself in many different situations and then ask yourself, how did I get here? Why am I feeling this way all of a sudden? So that's what we're going to be opening up. Now, when you ask me who's in the driver's seat of your life, I think this is a very important question. I think, like probably all human beings, we get kind of dragged into or sucked into the drama of life, of the external environments, and let's face it, these environments, these situations, these challenges are very attractive. And when I say attractive, I mean they can hack our attention or hijack our attention. And it's very difficult sometimes and very challenging to come back home, come back to yourself and go inwards. So we do feel it's a big challenge. I think everyone faces it to a large degree or varying degrees. I certainly do. Every day is a new day. And I constantly have to create a new habit of reminding myself, listen, I always have a choice here. I have a choice, okay? and I could either retract and pull back, or I could participate. Okay, and that's really what it boils down to. And so, with every action or inaction comes a consequence, whatever that is in any given situation. So, I feel we're constantly being use the word tested, although I don't really like the word tested, but I think we're constantly being confronted with situations, some of which are new to us, and constantly kind of confront what we believe to be true, and some that we know very, very well and we're used to and familiar. Now, both of them, I feel, both have challenges still. Even some of the familiar stuff, where if you do keep doing something that's familiar, then we call that the comfort zone. So if you're there for too long, sometimes, hey, maybe it's time to consider something else. All depending, of course, whether it's something that you really want more of in your life, or really want something less of. It all depends in any context or situation. So that's really my take on it to kick things off. Andrea, what's your view of the driver's seat analogy?
I was loving that. I was like, that's so good. Well done. Just very enthralling. Easy to listen to, you are, Sam. So yeah, I love how you really hit the nail on the head there in terms of the choice. And sometimes I think it can be sometimes easy to forget that we are always choosing. Like nothing is ever really being done to us, even though like there are things that are done to us, I guess, like that might be the universe or whoever doing it or other people. But our response and who we put in the driver's seat is actually a choice. And do we actually know that we have one? And if what we're choosing at any given time, now that could be in an action, and that can be even in our thoughts. So, like, actions are very obvious. You either step towards something or you don't. You say something or you don't. That physical action is very obvious, but it's the mental thing and the stories and all of that that's really not that obvious, and yet it's still a choice, and that will lead to what our action becomes, which will lead to whether we move closer to what we want or further away. And that's really what I guess I feel into in terms of who's in our driver's seat. Are we conscious of who is driving us and what's driving us? And if we're not, what are some of the things we can do to become more conscious of who's driving the bus or who's driving the car, sort of thing?
Yeah, totally connect with that. And I just want to hang on that word before I jump to you, Rash, on how do we develop to be conscious of that little move, because like you rightly said, it's quite a subtle little bugger, like things can change very quickly and you wonder, it's like, oh, I'm in another situation all of a sudden. I didn't just do that. So like you rightly said, I think it's this, conscious or making, I call it making a habit of being more conscious. And I feel that we can keep developing that habit of whatever we wish to install. And we talked about this. I mean, we certainly do it in hypnosis sessions. We're creating new habits based on the client, on what would they like to think more of? Like, how can we recreate that scenario or wiring in their neurology that will allow them to keep getting reminded of those productive habits, those positive habits, to keep them so-called on the proverbial, on track, so to speak. So, yeah.
And I kind of, sorry, before we swap over to Rash, sorry, I've always got something to say.
It's
but
okay, yeah.
The other part of that is that the thing that I really want to highlight is also that it's an opportunity. Like in terms of when we talk about this, and sometimes it can be hard and we can be challenged and we don't know and we have to see more and more awareness. Like this is actually a gift that we give ourselves. We get to choose how we look at kind of sifting through some of this stuff, and that it's an opportunity to think differently, to feel differently, to experience differently. Like if we look at it as an opportunity opposed to, how do I get rid of this stuff? How do I live a better life? It just lightens it, I think. And what comes with that opportunity is for us to really own in any given minute who we want to be. Who do we want to be in each and every moment that we're living? And why that's a great opportunity is because it gives us our power back. Because in every single opportunity, in every single moment, things can happen. Like I said before, people can do things. Situations can happen. We can lose a job. We can be tested. We can be all those things that are a normal part of being a human. That might feel like we're being tested with, is an opportunity to ask ourselves, who do I want to be in this moment?
Yeah.
Who do I want to be?
I stuck on something before we jump to you. Sorry, Rash, but I stuck on
That's
something.
all right. That's cool.
Are you here today? Sorry.
Yeah, well,
But
I'm just listening intently. It's great.
I just have to say this. You said something really good, Andrea. I really enjoyed that. It's the gift we give ourselves. The gift we give ourselves. Wow, what a reframe. That's a great reframe because let's really, let's play it out. Do you notice that the moments that we spend a little bit more time or become conscious with ourselves, even if it's for short little moments, it just feels good. It feels good. It's like, oh, I'm here now. Like, and I ask this question to the viewers, everyone watching right now, just for this moment. Okay, we do this a lot in NLP and hypnosis, but like right now, if you're standing or sitting, just for this moment, do you notice the sensation of that chair you're sitting on and your feet touching the floor? If you're standing, can you notice your breathing? If you're sitting, can you notice your breathing? It's just for that brief little moment. It's time with yourself at that time. Like this time, this moment is like everything. And sorry, I just wanted to stick on that because ultimately it feels very, very powerful. I mean, I could report that every time I experience this, it's very powerful, very calming. And I feel like I'm truly here now by choice. And it's almost like you rightly said, Andrea, I've gifted myself this experience now. And then I can springboard from that moment. I can then do something else from that moment. And it's so liberating. So I'd like to hear people's experience about that. Just little momentary situation or experience. What did you feel? What did you experience during that time? Just felt it's very, very powerful.
Alrighty, my turn.
We'll pass the talking stick to you now.
Yeah. Let me put myself in the big screen. Sam, you can put me in the big screen.
Yeah, that's what I did, but then popped back. But here we go.
Well, I think we're doing it at the same time. Look, a bunch of things were coming into my mind, and you guys nailed it to the head. Nailed it to the head. I don't know. Well, you know what I mean. So you guys nailed it in the things I was going to say. One thing I was going to say is that sometimes we might feel like we're in the passenger seat and someone else is driving it for us, but we're still making the choices to allow that person to drive. I'm just trying to look at it as a metaphor. And then the other thing is, most of the time when we're driving, we're on autopilot. We're allowing other things to affect us to make the turns that we need to do. So we're not really in control, or we think we have this illusion that we're not in control. And I think one thing I wanted to highlight is that we are in control. And then moving on to like what Sam and you were saying is that when we become consciously aware, because you might be driving and you might think, okay, I'm in the driver's seat, but I don't know what to do. So where's the map? What do I do? I have fear to drive, all that baggage that comes. And what I'm trying to say is when you become consciously aware of it and you get some help, you end up becoming a better driver. That's all. So I'm trying to give it a bit of a metaphor of actually physically driving like that. So I thought I'd share that.
And I think that's really good in the fact that it's very representative of, if you're using driving as in a literal sense, like we start, I don't know what happens over in Dubai, but over here you start on your L's and you have You have someone with more experience that sits beside you and helps to direct you and looks peripheral vision, looks for things that maybe you're not seeing because you're a bit new to it. Then as you gain a bit more confidence, then you get to sort of, go it alone. But there's some, guidelines around that in terms of no drinking and stuff to keep you safe. And then all of a sudden confident driver, and sometimes even a really confident driver might not see something or not give way, and an accident occurs or whatever, like there's bumps in the road. And I think that's very representative of what we're talking about here, Rash, that it's really it can be really super helpful to have someone help guide you to the things that you can't see, not because you're inadequate, not because you're hopeless, not because you're too stupid to work it out, but because some things can be challenging to see until you know what you're kind of looking for, and you're tapping into the feelings that you get. Because I'm pretty big on feeling, in terms of that's a pretty big indicator that you're not in alignment, is the way that we feel. You're not in alignment with decisions or choices or thoughts that you're having, whatever it is. Because when you're in your truth and you're in the driver's seat, it feels good. It feels really good. Might be nerve-wracking, but there'll be something that feels good about it.
I don't think sometimes we're aware of those feelings. They can become dormant, and we just got to tap into it. Everyone's got those feelings. It's amazing the way we are as human beings, that we have this internal mechanism to give us a feeling of, even if you don't know what it is, it's like,
I think we know the feelings because it'll be showing up. There'll be dysfunction. You just might not have worked out what it's connected to.
Correct. That's what I mean. But we have all the tools there, and this is the point. And we have the resources. Just like the same analogy, what you're saying is that, all right, if I've forgotten how to drive, as an example, for whatever reason, well, then I'll get someone, like get on my L's and get someone to help me, teach me to go back and learn how to drive. That's got the experience and can say, okay, make a stop here, make a turn here, stop for 3 seconds, do that. And then get back into it. And that's just being consciously aware and putting your hand up, I think.
I just want to jump in as well on that point as well. I mean, yeah, I think that's a great analogy with the driving. And, if you want to learn how to drive better, sit with someone who has more experience, which is great, obviously. But I've seen, for example, a drummer, a great drummer who everyone would know, who taught himself how to do it. And they asked him, it's like, how did you do that? He says, I just kept on watching the great drummers play in bands so closely that I wanted to be a drummer. And he was so close to that identity that he watched everything. He read everything about it. So just going back to that point, I think it's twofold. I think you can reach out and get the professional help, at least to get started, get more familiar, and then, just like any art.
But he learned from someone, Sam. That's the point. So whether it's physically, he's learned and you get someone that teaches you, or you immerse yourself to learn, there is some sort of guidance out there. That's the point.
Yeah, no, that point is very clear, Rash. The only thing I wanted to say was, I think the only differentiator was the level of investment that person decided to take to actually either feel better, get better, or do something better. Like, there's no difference to me when you say, if you want to become a professional drummer or musician or voiceover, whatever it is, if you really want that so desperately, so badly, because it brings you so much joy, you will make a decision internally and you start to learn it from wherever, whoever, and get that help you need. So we're pretty much talking about the same thing. I think it was just the only differentiator or variable was the decision that was made, the level of investment.
I think we attract it also. I think the frequency when you're going out there to look for it, you'll attract those people who come into your life somehow, some way. All of those challenges that we get are there for whatever reason, to teach us something that we don't even know at that particular time, Listen, there's a comment there from Anne. If Anne wants to join us, we'll put the link in, because she's always got some really important stuff. A fellow Melburnian, my fellow Melburnian, she says here, the important question is why? Is it my why, or is it someone else's why? Are we even aware enough to ask ourselves that. That's such a really good point. What do you think, guys?
Andrea?
Well, I think this is, from what I see, I guess my experience as someone that holds space with people is that this tends to be exactly what we're undoing most of the time, is this inherent situation where we've become who we believe we're meant to be. We've been, like in terms of the world, it gets to us, like we're influenced by so many things that are external to us. So from a baby, we learn what love is and what love isn't, and we learn what we're meant to do to receive it or not receive it. And we can be, we can really be given some very mixed signals as children, and we don't know how to differentiate our identity and our worth from what we are meant to do and not meant to do. And so the longer that these patterns play out, because once you've learnt it, once it's become a pattern of, when I do this, I'm received well, or I'm given attention, or when I do that, it's negative. And so we learn how to mold ourselves to be the safest version of ourselves, not necessarily our most honest or truthful, because that can sometimes be really freaking scary. Because what happens if we show up, and we probably have, as a small child, we've shown up in the truth of who we are, and we haven't been accepted, or we've been ridiculed, or we've been told to shut up, or we've been told we're not important, or, children are seen and not heard. Remember, your voice is not important. All those messages that go in, and then our identity is formed by that. And so we live that out for years and years. And then there'll become a time where maybe something happens, or we just get exhausted by carrying this whole thing, and all of a sudden there will be a disconnection within us. We will feel that. And this is what part of the journey is for most people that I sit with, is actually recognizing what Anne's saying. Are you who you are? Like, the why am I showing up like this? Is it because it's the truth of who I am, or because it's that's who I learned to be safe, or be accepted, to be loved, to be enough? And can we give ourselves permission and the opportunity to really just be who we are, and not be concerned on whether the world will accept that or not? Can we accept it? Like, that's the biggest thing. Can we accept who we are?
Yeah.
That's putting yourself in the driver's seat. I give you the tip right now.
Yeah. Rash, you're on mute. Sorry, just unmute.
Yeah, no, sorry, because my cat was making noise before, so I had to mute myself.
Yeah.
What about the dangers of not driving your own car? So just think about it. When someone else is, it's, not physically, but like driving your car, and they're making your choices, well, there's danger there, because
I'm gonna refute that one based on what I believe.
All right.
No one,
Cool,
no
cool,
one's making your choices. No one.
No, but you're still making the choice, even if you're allowing someone.
You are making the choice, though.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying, but if you're allowing someone else to drive your,
You're
is
still
in the
making
driver's,
a choice.
you're making a choice. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So, and I think that's
I'm
the
gonna repeat
danger.
that, because I think the thing with that is that when we step into the arena of saying that, but they're driving my car, they're doing this, they're doing that, it's because of this, it's because of that, that's disempowering. We really have to, and it can be challenging, and I totally understand that. But when we can, at the very minimum, accept that it's still a choice to have someone in your driver's seat, that is where you can start to actually get them out.
Yeah. Going back,
we have to take ownership at the very basis of anything. We have to take ownership of it.
Yeah, Rash, can I do
100%.
a quick
Yeah.
just a quick refresh of the room. So this is the HIT program, right? Human Investment Technology, where we discuss everything about you being the best investment. We're talking today about who's in the driver's seat. And as always, we keep hammering home, please like, share, and inform your friends, your besties, your BFFs, whoever that may be that you're close to. Yet you want them to listen to this and probably take something away from it. We're very passionate, as you can see, about the topic of self-development, leading better lives, and we come from different perspectives. It's great. And so, to continue on that conversation, who is in the driver's seat of your life? You know, that's a really important thing. And before Anne joins us as well, I hope her connection is
yeah.
good. We'll invite her on. Rash, do you want to invite her on?
Yeah, I'll put her on. Here we go. And good morning from the sandpit.
Good afternoon. It's good afternoon here, guys. Lovely to hear your topic. This topic is really, really important, isn't it?
Absolutely. Very much. Yeah. Welcome back to our show. So I just want to get your perspective.
Always be here.
Get your perspective and just go ahead.
Yeah. What I was going to say is I think this is a fantastic follow-on from last week, because last week it was, we were talking about what our powers were. And the powers really come more from how we do what we do. And, because we could do anything, and we worked out if we do them a certain way, and that shows us our powers. But this week it's about the why. I mean, why is it that we are doing what we're doing that makes us and makes us do what we do and take the decisions that we make. So it's the next core of it. And this one I think is the most important, because I think 9 times out of 10 people don't really realize that where they're coming from, and most of it, as you guys have already said, it's all conditioned. But it takes a long time for people to take charge and say, oh my goodness, I do have to take a real active move to see what and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So yeah, sorry, that's what I was going to say.
Okay, cool. No, because I think the other thing is that, even if we're taking charge, sometimes we're on autopilot. And this is what I want to sort of like go into, is that the autopilot, we're not even realizing it. We're not even conscious of it. We're still making the choices, is what Andrea was saying before.
That's right.
So,
but
even not doing anything is making a choice. So,
correct. And that's why I'm saying it's so important for us to stop and realize and ask that question. Until you do, you are only living the conditioned state. You are only being who you are to be acceptable, to be not ostracized by the world around us, to fit in. And so we literally give away our entire life just trying to fit in and be accepted. So until we stop to ask a question of, how is it I'm making these decisions? Do I really want to fit in, for goodness sake? I recall a conversation that Sam had quite a couple of weeks back when he was questioning, the environment he was in, and he stopped for a moment and thought, do I really want to be here? That's a profound move, and most of us don't even get there. But when we do get there, that's when we can actually ask the question and even be aware, who actually is at the driver's seat, whether it's us or everybody else that we think we should have driving for us. Yeah.
But then let me ask the question: when you're there, whilst we've got your hand, while you're there, and then you're making that profound decision, going, "What the hell?" And you're aware of that. Sometimes, and I'm sure there's people in the audience too, they don't have the courage or don't know what to do next, or they give up, right? This is some experiences I've dealt with. I'm too old, or you can't. They'll use the same sort of things. You can't teach a dog new tricks, whatever. Yeah, that's the one, right? So I guess what we're saying is this, and moving forward from the driver's seat is like, so what happens when you're there and you're consciously aware? Maybe we can give some sort of advice for the audience, is that what's the next steps, right? We've at least put it out there and said, all right, become conscious. Who's in the driver's seat? Become conscious that even if you're not making the decision, it's a choice, right? Now the next point is that if I'm conscious, and I've got, it's whether it's my mum that's driving my car, or it's my boyfriend or husband, whatever it is, right? What's the next steps that we can go out there and help people and give people advice? And I'd like to hear from you, Andrea and Anne. Well, let's start with you, Andrea, maybe, and then Sam, and let's put it across the board so we can maybe give that advice to people. Go ahead.
Okay, well, for me personally, how I work, like if you've established who's in the driver's seat, I think it's really super important to take a journey of why they're there. Like
Okay.
I obviously like to go back so that we can go forward. There is a reason, and there is definitely connections of meanings about who we are and what it means about who we might be if we make changes to what we're doing. Right? Because it comes back to that thing around acceptance and that wanting to feel safe. And for some people, the thought of changing the driver's seat, the thought of taking control of their life and not being a people pleaser or a yes person or an accommodating person is the most scariest freaking thing in their life. Just like for other people, it might be wanting to get that promotion and put themselves out there to say, I want the promotion, and they don't get it. The thought of failure is the biggest fear of their life. It's really being able to establish what's the thing that is getting in the way for you wanting to, like, getting to where you want to go. And for me, I believe that the age-old answer to every single thing, every single fear that is out there, is based on not being rock solid on who you are in here. Because when you're rock solid and you really like okay and comfortable in your own skin, doesn't matter if you don't get the promotion, doesn't matter if your mum's pissed off with you, doesn't matter if your husband leaves. Like, it does, I'm not dismissing that, but you're able to be with the experience without it meaning anything about who you are. And that's the biggest pain point, is that people don't know who they are if they were to be in the driver's seat. So I'm not here to give any answers like if you do A, B, you're going to get C. I don't operate like that. I'm here to ask the questions of who do you think you are, but what's the truth really?
Nice one.
Good point. Andrea? Anne, sorry. Anne, yeah, go ahead.
Are you still there?
Yeah. I was going to say, Andrea hit the nail on the head earlier. Sorry, am I here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're there.
Am I there?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me or not? Hello?
We can hear you. But...
Oh, what have I done? Oh, good.
All right. I think
Sorry, I wasn't sure I was on or not. So
Go ahead.
About saying about
Sam, I think you just take over. I'm just gonna
okay.
get her.
Cool. So we're just gonna continue that conversation. Andrea, I think that was really cool. What I personally do is, well, first of all, I gotta congratulate everyone who has been joining us every single week. You know who you are, and it's such a pleasure and a delight that you guys are joining us. And the reason I say that, a big congratulations, is because you've actually made a decision, even if it's a tiny one, to actually tune in. And the fact that you're tuning in right now to discuss the most valuable topic of self-development is that it means to us that you've already begun to take little steps towards, giving yourself more time, becoming more aware, more conscious of yourself, to give yourself more. So I think you've already done a great job in giving yourself the gift of getting that process started anyways. So I just wanted to start by saying that. The other point is what I tend to do is as a coach, I start off with, similar in some ways with Andrea, is we start with a quick audit. So first I congratulate the client to make that decision move forward, which is awesome because they're almost there. And then we do an audit. We go back just to understand and identify some of the patterns that they've been playing out, they've been feeling. And basically what we're doing is presenting what's happening. There's no coach, any great coach will not give you their opinion, their advice. We don't know what it feels like to be you, okay? And so I just want to make that point clear. We're not psychiatrists, doctors, neuroscientists, we're coaches. And what we do is we ask great quality questions to understand who you are, okay? And let you describe that, okay? And once you do, well, we hope that we can identify some patterns there that you are going to be, start to change. And then we go into a discovery. A discovery basically is to understand basically how we function, proven, tried and tested, who we are, what's human behavior like? What do we do? What makes us trigger? Why do we say these kind of things, so to speak? And like I said, we notice those patterns. Once you understand how you function as a human body, then we move into a performance, basically switching gears right now and moving forward, pushing that needle. And that's what we do in terms of a journey. But I think, like I said, it starts from that first step. And everyone who's been seeing us week to week to week, I really sincerely congratulate you, because you're really part of something bigger, which is for you. And so,
great stuff, my man. Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm going to shift a little bit of gears here. I wanted to discuss next week's topic, possibly. And I've just come up with this thought. Maybe we can, if comments, people agree, maybe something that's dear to Andrea's heart and what she works is the importance of the heart. Because everything that we've been talking about, I think when I've been sold on this by Andrea, it all starts here, right? Seriously, yeah. It's the only true, love and the heart is the only true emotion, right? I think we all agree to that. So, I don't know. What do you guys think of that?
You're not going to get any arguments out of me, are you?
No. But maybe we could question it in a way that we'd say the importance of the heart, or do you realize, I don't know, something like that. But I think it's an important topic that when we realize that it all starts here, I think that's the importance. I think we should, probably a lot of people didn't know that. And even me, having the coaching background and stuff, until I started talking more to Andrea about it and understanding that it all begins here in the heart.
When you look at our topics, honestly, when you look at our topics, so you look at today, who's in the driver's seat of your life? You being in the driver's seat is basically saying, I love me enough to make the choices that feel good for me. When we talk about what's your kick-ass, what's your gift or whatever, that is literally saying, I love me enough to be able to reflect on what my gifts are. You take any topic you have, I'll guarantee we can boil it back down to, do you love yourself enough to be able to X, Y, Z? And I'm not talking about, floaty, passionate, I'm talking about literally deep-seated, the truth of who I am is good. And getting to that point, loving yourself enough to be able to see the goodness within our heart, irrespective of what's happened, what we've been told, what we've experienced, what we've gained, what we've got, what we've lost, anything out there.
Even your deficiencies. You might have a bigger nose than someone, or a different body, or whatever it is, right? That in society is looked upon as like, all these type of things that the social constructs put out there for us. We can truly go in.
Yeah. Just that truth of, you got a bigger nose, you got a smaller nose, you got a wider ass, you got a slim waist, you've got a high-paying job, you've got a dodgy car. You are still worthy of being loved, just as you are.
Absolutely.
Because that is what we're searching for. I guarantee it. That's what we're searching for.
So what are we going to call it? I'm going to put it in the comments here. So you said something before. So what is the question?
Let's call it Andrea's Love Fest.
Andrea's
Love Fest. I'm kidding.
I got a question.
That's okay.
Yeah, I got a question, Rash. Why don't we pitch this question to our viewers? What would they like to call it around heart? What's the heart? We're going to be talking about heart-centered, a heart-centered approach next week. So what would be your title? I asked, Lana, Anne, Gina, interact. Let's hear what you got to say, about that.
I want to get some people on the show too. I think let's get some people on the show and do some exciting stuff and help actually people if they're willing to come on the show.
There we go. Gina's got a comment. Put it on there. Why isn't it? Good.
Oh,
Okay. I
Before
like that.
I think
Beautiful.
it's meant to be how to love yourself before other people love you.
Ooh, I love that.
Lana's got something too.
Lana's is good at too. What? That's
Actually, I like that more.
Why is so hard to love yourself? That's a great question.
I actually believe the answer to that, the answer to Lana's, is going to give the answer to Gina's.
Yeah, they're all interrelated.
Like, because when you work out why it's so hard to love yourself, right, then you're going to know how to love yourself before you love others, before other people. So I think they actually, both of those will be covered and intertwined.
Yeah, and when Gina has the answer, then I'll have the answer, and then
All right, I'm going to start putting these down for next episode. So keep going.
yeah. So why is it so hard to love yourself? I think that's a beautiful
I
question.
love that.
And I think it's very pertinent on, I suppose, of course, generically, that people may ask themselves that question. It sounds like people have that question. We're getting.
And do you know what's cool?
What's cool, Andrea?
Imagine the difference in your life when you realize it's actually really easy.
Oh!
Will you be delving into that next week and telling everyone how easy it is?
No, I'll be asking them to discover it for themselves, because then it'll stick. But this is the thing, it does feel hard because we've been conditioned to believe that it's hard, and we've been conditioned to believe that we shouldn't. And I'm here to tell you that that's a load of shit.
Yeah. This is what I love about you, mate.
Today, I'm swearing a bit today. I'm very passionate about this. I'm really passionate about people recognizing just how easy it is to love themselves.
Nothing wrong with swearing if you're trying to put that within reason, because when I load it to YouTube, I'll say not for kids, but but if you're putting that emotion and out there, then why not?
Yeah.
So we're wrapping up right now, guys. Unless you want to talk about something.
But this is one more point here, just because Lana's put this comment. I think it's really important. She says no problem with loving others. So I think that's the thing. Why is it so hard to love myself, yet I can still love others, which will come into the topic for next week. What do you guys think?
I actually think we need to spend some time to know ourselves just a little bit more before we can love ourselves.
You think so?
Yeah, let's who are we? Let's ask those questions first and spend a little bit of time before we drop down to the heart. But that's just my view on because the heart, and Andrea, probably you can attest, but the heart is very powerful, and so I very much agree with Andrea's position on this. It's if you drop down to a heart-centered lifestyle, if you will, that's very, very powerful. So powerful that it's almost like you're happy with what you have. So if nobody really outside really loves you, you're still okay with that. That's how much power your own heart has. Like you're still happy with whatever happens because you're in a place that's just so amazing. It's like a blanket that's so protective of you, so caring, that before you can go there, this is just my view, I think we still need to start to understand who we are, first of all, like know ourselves before we can enter that sacred, beautiful, powerful place called the heart.
And excellent. I think I'll just quickly say, I think it helps us differentiate. And I learned this from my beautiful friend Barb from America. What it does, it helps us differentiate between wanting others to love us and needing them to. So what that means is that I want it, but I can be okay without it, opposed to I can't be okay without it. Because it's okay to want people to validate and affirm us and love us. There's nothing wrong with that. It feels amazing. I friggin' love, mate. Like I love it. I love loving people and I love to be loved. But when it shifts into a need, as in I can't be okay without it, then we're on a slippery slope.
You're always dropping
That's
bombs, Andrea. Always dropping the bombs. Let me tell you, the
well, this
love
is the thing
bombs.
though, like
The love bombs.
understanding that, like when we talk about how to invest in ourselves, and when you guys talk about that, I didn't wake up one day and know this stuff. I have been very, very blessed with amazing people that have come into my life, and amazing people that have shared themselves with me, like in ways that you boys do. Like, this is the whole thing. It's not, okay, I'm broken, I need fixing, but the rest of the world is perfect. This is what we do. This is why we're here. We share our journey with other people to help them on their journey. That's unity. That's what the world needs, is just to, these aren't my love bombs. Like they feel like truth, absolutely, but I've experienced them elsewhere as well, So anyway, we could be
Well, I
here
like
forever.
that, Sam. You've put a nice comment there. Love will be in the air next week, starting from now. We should wrap up, but yeah, we can make it into a song. So it's all
Do
about
you
that
know
love.
what's really powerful too for me personally is that you boys are so open to this, because when we talk about different energies, masculine, feminine, stuff like that, this can be a topic that is a little bit like, oh, we're a bit like, we're just here to do stuff and smash goals, and yet the fact that you guys are open to the fact that we're going to talk about love and how important that is, that's huge.
Well, thanks,
Well,
Andrea.
some people could call us snags. They call them in Australia snags. You know what a snag is, Sam?
No, I don't. Can you tell me what a snag is?
Sensitive new age guy.
Oh,
So we might be called snags, but I think no, we're open to that. We're aware, and we have an audience also that this is a topic. It's a great topic. So big hello to Joseph in Bangkok, my dear friend from there.
Hey, Joseph.
But we need to wrap up. So
We'll do that.
I'll give you the controls, Mr. Sam. So tell them about next week. Tell them where they can find us. Do the lot. And
Great,
then
thanks.
let's wrap up.
Welcome, Joseph. Sorry you came in a little bit too late, but we're wrapping up right now. We had a wonderful topic today where we discussed who's in the driver's seat of your life. And Anne had a big contribution, Andrea, Rash, and of course, people listening in. Great questions. We try to make it as interactive as we can. You could find us here on the Lionheart Facebook page. You can also find us individually on Instagram as well, where you can find Andrea Gullick over there, myself, Sam, a PB coach, Richard Rash Hussein, who's on Instagram as well. You could find all of us there. Please share it, like it, speak to some of your friends to join us as well, because we do spend and give this time as much love and attention and energy, with the hopes that we can obviously bring more and more value, to help you live the lifestyle that you choose. So thanks once again, everyone, for joining us. It was a wonderful episode today. Andrea, Rash, hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Any final words from your side?
Oh, you're muted.
There we go. Okay, Rash is still on mute.
Now?
Here you go. Okay, cool.
Just wanted to say the comment from Gina that makes me like, if we're able to help, and I put it on the screen now, this is fabulous. Whether we're getting one person that's watching or 100.
Yeah.
So for us, it's a pleasure to serve and pleasure to help people, and this is the whole point of what we're doing. So that's all I wanted to say.
And I want to drop a pin in that as well, in the fact of, Gina, you will be creating a ripple. So this is how this stuff flows. That sometimes we look at, how can I work through my stuff? Working through our stuff changes things for our children, changes things for our spouses, can change things for our parents, our friends. Like the flow-on effect of you feeling good within yourself is unfreaking deniable, and it's amazing when you start to see the impact that you have on those around you. And so I love that, Gina. I friggin' love that so much for you. It's awesome.
That's so
I love
cool.
that you've said friggin' a few times today and you haven't dropped the F word. That's cool.
And I like the fact that you pointed that out as well, Rich.
Sammy, wrap it up, my man, because we're almost done for time.
Good. Awesome. Well, that's pretty much it. It was great. And like Andrea rightly said, you can create a ripple effect. And you probably don't feel it right now, but it's happening. It's a ripple effect. Like when you throw a little tiny little pebble into a pond, things do move. That ripple. People listen. People join in. You're helping someone sometimes without even knowing you're doing it. But the fact that you have that intention out there just automatically happens. So, guys, I wish you a great rest of the day ahead, an awesome week. Please tune in next week where we're going to be talking about why is it so difficult to love ourselves?
Love is in the air.
Love is in the air.
Yeah, I love that movie. Strictly
Oh,
Ballroom.
do you?
Okay,
I used
guys.
to watch it after school every day.
Oh my God.
And we're
Oh,
signing
go,
out.
go, 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 Mr. Fife.
Was that? I think that was filmed in Australia, wasn't it?
Yep. Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
Or yeah.
There we go.
Bye,
Catch you
guys.
next week, guys.
Have a
Thanks.
good one.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Bye, guys. Adios.